on the programme as always. We now turn over to the African continent, and the United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk reported that nearly 100 civilians were killed and 140 injured in drone strikes in Sudan's Kordofan region between January the 22nd and February the 6th. These strikes, conducted by Sudan's army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, targeted civilian areas including a World Food Programme convoy, markets, health facilities and residential neighbourhoods. Turk described the situation as a grave human rights violation and drew a parallel with the preventable atrocities that occurred in Sudan's El-Fasher last year. He expressed a deep concern that such abuses could be repeated in Kordofan, urging the international community to take immediate action. Joining us now is Major General Siddhartha G, a senior geopolitical and strategic defence expert, joining us live from Jaipur. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's a great pleasure to speak to you. The United Nations here once again saying that over 100 civilians were killed in the Kordofan region of Sudan. What more can you tell us about this conflict? We're seeing numbers coming out again and again, mainly from the United Nations, these United Nations watchdogs, consistently releasing these devastating figures coming out of the conflict in Sudan. Why is nothing happening? Why is nothing developing?
Thomas, good evening. Hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, we have to understand where Sudan is. Geography has to be understood, and across the Red Sea, which are the countries actually having borders with the Red Sea. And there is a global perspective, there is a regional perspective, there is also local perspective. But what is of relevance is the regional and the local perspective. In case of local perspective, the situation has gone out of hand. The RSF and Sudanese armed forces, they are at one point in time in 2023, they had agreed to actually come together and fight for unity and for a common aim and objective for the growth and prosperity of the country. But somehow that has fallen apart because of lack of trust, and both the leaders, the Sudanese army and the RSF leader, they are part of the same armed forces and they are fighting against each other. So that means the lack of trust has led to a kind of a polarization within the society. As a result, the civilians have been targeted, unfortunately. This is beyond the kind of atrocities that can be ever imagined. And like the narrative which has just been shared by the United Nations representative, I think it's about time the United Nations must actually launch a mission, a military mission, to prevent violence spreading further and resulting in total annihilation or a kind of a genocide or cleansing of the ethnic tribes, which is appearing to be very, very potent and likely to take place in near future. So therefore, prevention is better than cure. United Nations must come in with a mission-oriented objective and a mission represented by military observers with the Article 7, that is they will be entitled to use force to prevent any kind of escalation of the violence. Back to you, Thomas.
Major General G, do stay with us as we turn to our